Hello, this is Timothy Bond with True Vine Publishing Company, and you are watching the next episode of The Right Change, where our guest today is Ryan Hall, author of Design Your Day, Design Your Life. Ryan, how you doing today?
I'm good, Tim. Thanks for having me, man.
Awesome. Thank you for being a guest. We met we have a coaching situation, and you called me, of course, doing your job. And I just felt like we had a really good chemistry, really easy going conversation. You're somebody who's really easy to talk to. And you sent me your book. And I was like, this is a really good book. It's very simple. It's to the point. It's a fast read, but it's also life-changing if you take that information and actually utilize it. So I was like, I definitely want to have you on the show and talk about your book, talk about what you're doing, man. So I appreciate you being on the show with me.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, I felt the same way. Like when we were speaking on the phone, it was like, man, I like this cat. He's a cool dude. And I was like, oh, by the way, I do have this book.
Right.
You're a publisher. Like maybe we got to get into business together, brother.
Yeah. So I always like to let my guest start off by just tell the audience a little bit about who you are and how'd you get to where you are right now.
Okay, so my name's Ryan Hall, just like Tim said, and I am 42 years old. And when I was a kid in high school, probably about 15 or 16, I realized that I was tired of playing sports and I wanted to be successful in life. And that meant I needed to make some money. And so I figured out I could work, and I was really good at it. And things kind of just came naturally to me. I gravitated towards trucking and heavy equipment. And in that industry, you make money by working hours. And I was really good at working a lot of hours. I didn't get tired, and I didn't break many things. And so that's kind of how I started this journey is, man, I worked hard for a lot of years. And I always had a success mindset. And I didn't quite put all the pieces together, actually, of why I was successful or the way I was. And until later, I got into personal development probably about 6 years ago. So probably in my mid-30s, I got into a little bit of personal development, and it started to click like, oh, this is kind of the way I am, and this is why I've been successful. And these are the habits that I've created to become successful and have a good relationship, and be a dad and be the spouse or be the husband that I am. And so then I realized my wife got into a health coaching business. And so that was working with people, because I never worked with people, right? I worked with machines that have no feelings and no emotions. And so we started working with people a little bit. It's like, man, this is different, but I liked it. And so I kind of married the strategies and habits I had from my previous career, and then how I enjoyed working with people. And I kind of married those two ideas and like, hey, I'm going to come up with a simple book that kind of lays out how I operate my day, which really, your days turn into weeks to months to years. And then, they really can change your day can change your whole life.
It's like the saying they say, you make your habits, and then your habits make you. And that's kind of what I see with your book. You're not giving, there's a meme out, a social media joke. You have those coaches who are like, first thing you want to do is go out and get a LLC, and then you want to turn that in. You're not giving anything like that. You're giving life, how to handle your day. And what you're saying is just by doing those fundamental personal steps, it has led you to success, right?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I've gone out and done the LLC and done the S Corp and I did all that too. Maybe that'll be my next book, right? But this first one is like, hey man, you got to get to bed on time.
Right.
You got to go to bed so you can wake up and be in offense and tackle your day.
Yeah.
Like this is base level stuff that I think everybody can use.
Right, right. That's amazing. I love that because it really makes it feel doable, right? Like like you, I didn't like school either, right? I didn't like school, hated school, but I knew I could do it because when it came down to finals, and final exams, then I'd buckle down, study, ace the exam just enough to pass the class, right? But
Just enough.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
sure.
enough. I got over. I got over. But I
Mhm.
love what you're saying because this is everybody can take control of their day to day life. Like
Yeah.
you have a chapter that says tomorrow morning starts tonight. I love that. Talk to us about tomorrow morning starts tonight.
Well, I thought it was kind of a catchy title,
It
and but
is.
it really is true. It's like tomorrow morning. By the time it's tomorrow morning, man, if you're behind, it's already too late, brother. I mean, you're in reaction mode the rest of the day. And
Right.
so when I say tomorrow morning starts tonight, it means okay, most of the time, I mean, I'm a parent now, but I was a single guy for years. I didn't get married till I think it was right before I was 30. So man, I was a single cat for years,
Mhm.
right? And it doesn't matter if you're single or married. You got to get to bed
Yeah.
because if you can't get to bed and get that quality sleep that you need, whether it's 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever you have time for, because for years and years, man, I didn't get that much sleep because I worked so many hours. I didn't have time to sleep,
Mhm.
5, 6 hours a day. But if you don't get to sleep, tomorrow's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So I came up with, and I wrote in the book, like just a simple strategy of what I use. Like, hey, this is what I need to get done. This is what I want to get done at my bed at nighttime for my bedtime routine. Now it's a little different with kids,
Mhm.
but it's
Abs-
like, man, you got to get that stuff done. You got to get your butt to bed so you can wake up in the morning and go out and get it.
Right. Wake up refreshed, ready. Now you talk about offense, not defense, and I'm going to throw this question as a kind of a devil's advocate here. You know, there are people like myself, who feel like I'm always in defense mode. I'm always right. How do you move from defense to offense when all your life you just felt like I gotta handle this and I got this coming.
Mhm.
I can't just stop everything, right? And say stop offense time. So
Yeah.
how do you help people get from defense and move into offense?
Well, I think it's just about controlling your controllables. Because there's so many things that come at us during the day that is out of our control.
Mhm.
That when we're talking about getting up and brushing your teeth and getting your whole morning routine accomplished before your kids wake up,
Mhm.
then when something else comes, like when your whole day is scheduled out and you're getting what you need to do done, there's going to be some extra time in your calendar where you can go, okay, something's coming at me that I'm not expecting. All right, how am I going to handle this? Boom, you get into react or you can respond to it. That's what I was looking for. You can respond, and I say that in the book, responding versus reacting. So reacting is like, oh my goodness, this is coming at me. Now what am I going to do? Instead of like, okay, stop, think. I got time. I did all this stuff in the morning. That's already handled.
Mhm.
And now here's this problem I gotta figure out. Okay, stop, think. This is what I'm gonna do. All right, boom, action.
Mhm.
Instead of like freaking out. Oh, what am I gonna do? Like now I gotta go do this. Now I gotta do that. I'm already behind on my schedule. So it's really just a matter of starting off your day, like get like a routine in your day. And I talk about that later in another chapter. Is the time blocking and just scheduling your day because what we figured out is when we have our everything we want to do on a schedule, right? Even down to the smallest stuff,
Yeah.
um, you get all this stuff done, and then there's that white space, that blank space in your calendar where it's like you have time to handle the stuff that's coming at you because
Yeah.
there's always stuff going to be coming at you that you can't expect, you can't predict, and so it's just a matter of
Yeah.
controlling your controllables.
Yeah. So, as you've been doing this, are you coaching people on this? Tell us about your coaching efforts.
Yeah, so my wife and I have a course that's called Simple Success, and it basically helps people um, build their businesses in a simple structure without sacrificing their family, and basically all their time, right? So we really work, like I said, the course, we really help people with that. And then we'll also do one-on-one coaching, which, that's kind of a different thing. And basically people reach out to us and be like, man, I need help in this area. Can you help me? And it's like, for sure. Yeah. We'll come up with a strategy and we'll help you, get back on offense.
Yeah, yeah. And it sounds like now tell me about this because I find this interesting. You said you married what you did with trucks and people. Please explain how do we make this merger of working with trucks and working with people?
So, man, I had a passion for trucks. I still do. I love them. I told Brittany, I go, you will know that we have made it when I have a whole entire fleet of trucks out at the shop, and it's just they're all toys.
uh,
I love trucks, and so when I say trucks, I mean like semis, like big rigs, right? That's always been my passion. And so, how did I marry those two? Well, I basically took the because I had my own trucking business for about 8 years,
okay.
and then a better opportunity came along, and so I was a manager of a company that had about 20. I think we had about 20 trucks back then, and so I've been in trucks my whole life. And there's so many things that I've learned throughout the years, like preventative maintenance on a truck, which is basically being on offense,
Mm,
right? Instead of reacting to what's going to happen, it's like, okay, my tires are wearing. This is just an example. I'm just coming up with this. It's like, okay, my tires are wearing out, so chances are I'm going to have problems with that. So like, let's think, okay, that's going to be about $5,000. So I better be planning ahead. Like, hey, my tires are wearing out. I got to start saving up for this now. So when I do need tires, I have the money instead of like, oh, my tire, I blew out a tire. Now I got to buy all new ones. I don't have the money. You know what I mean? It's just basically that. It's like this preventative things. It's controlling your controllables. Hey, I'm not going to go out and buy a new jet ski for $5,000. I need a tire fund for $5,000.
mm.
And it's not sexy, it's not flashy, but it's like, hey man, this is what made me a successful business owner for years and years and years. It's just thinking about the things like that. So that part of the business and the trucking that I did for, decades, and then kind of marry that with working with people.
Now, were you always successful? Was there a time of struggle and a time where you didn't have these keys to success that you had to develop them? What do you say to the person who's like, I just can't figure it out?
Well, the first thing I would say is, dude, we can help you for sure. And the second thing I would say is, man, we got to get you start thinking about not about what you can't do. We got to start thinking about what you can do, right? Because so much of it is mindset. It's like, let's not think about how you're having a bad day or how last week is better. It's like, man, Coach Burt talks about this. He's like, man, I ain't got time to talk about yesterday. Yesterday is done. It is finite. It is finished. We cannot change it. Like, how are we going to improve and not have this yesterday situation happen tomorrow or today?
Right, right.
So, was I always successful? Success really is in the eye of the beholder. In my mind, I was.
Mhm.
Like I said, when I was 16, I played sports. I played three sports: basketball, baseball, football. I started every single sport. I was on every single all-star team for any sport I ever did. I loved it. I breathed it. You never saw me without a ball in my hand. But then something switched when I was 16, and I was like, man, I like this making money a lot better than I make than sports. And I love sports, but it's like, if I want to own a house, be able to provide a nice living for my family, moving forward, because that's what I wanted to do. I always wanted to have a wife and kids. It's like sports isn't going to get that for me. As much as I would love to be a professional basketball player, that's not going to happen.
Mhm.
And so I really had a very strong drive and a very strong work ethic at a young age. So I remember when I was 20, 19 or 20, I was getting paid every single week. I got paid every single week, and I lived on one paycheck and I saved three.
Mhm.
So this just kind of always, because my priority was to be quote unquote successful. And in my mind, it's like, man, I need to have some money. I need to get a house. Like, I need to get all these things in place because I want to be a great provider for a wife and a family. So there's always been challenges, in trucking, a lot of things can happen. It's like, I blew a head gasket one time. It's like, that's a $20,000 problem.
Right.
Okay. Like that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this isn't great. So there's been a lot of challenges, but I've really, really kept my mindset on I'm going forward, I'm moving forward, I'm gonna be successful, I'm gonna get that house that I want, and all these quote unquote problems that I'm not focusing on are only distractions. I'm only focusing on where I'm going.
I know you're very committed to your faith, and committed to your family. So just talking to you, I can hear a lot of reasons why we just kind of seem to be on the same vibration.
Yeah,
We
man.
have some of the same values, family values. Putting family above. I have a saying that I want to have an effed up life, and an effed up life is faith, family, fitness, finance, friends. That's to have an effed up life,
I
and
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my faith, of course, is my top priority. I wouldn't put anything above my faith.
Hmm.
And family, nothing above my family but my faith. My finance, of course. I mean, my fitness, and then my finance, and then my friends. Right. So
Hmm.
we're kind of on that same wavelength. And I remember when we talked, you sent me a text, and I'm ready to put money in your pocket, and you were like, yeah, I'll get back with you. I got to put the kids to sleep, and I appreciate that. Right? I do. I really do appreciate that because that lets me know that your values, you know, money will never come above family.
Hmm.
And so you have a chapter in your book called "Work Your Spirit."
Hmm.
Talk to us about working your spirit.
Yeah. So work your spirit, right? I came up with that idea. I was like, work your body, work your spirit, work your mind. It's like, yeah, I dig that. So yeah, work your spirit. That to me means so like when you go to the gym, right, you work in your body,
Hmm.
you're getting stronger, you're tearing your muscles down and they grow back stronger and bigger. They have more stamina. And
Hmm.
so really I think it's the same thing with working your spirit, right? It's like being in, like you said, I'm a spiritual guy. I believe in Jesus. And so I believe he wants us to be in a relationship with him on a daily basis. That probably looks different for a lot of people. But with me, it's praying a couple times a day. And that's always been part of my story. Like when like I was talking about just a second ago, when I blew a head gasket or I have a problem with the truck or no matter what, it wasn't, oh, why me? Why me? It's like, take a breath because it's very frustrating. It can be pretty expensive, but it's like, thank you, Jesus, for giving me the ability to work through this situation. And I know on the other side of this that I'm going to become stronger and more in alignment with your purpose for my life.
Yeah.
And that really is what I've been about, like a long time. I'm not super outspoken about it. I might, maybe I should work on that a little bit, but I do have a very strong faith, and um, that really makes me kind of where I'm at today.
Yeah,
It's just very important to me.
I'm of the opinion that your example is far greater than your words, and there's I believe in vibration. I believe there's a energy that flows from everybody, and when you
Mhm.
have a chaotic, dark uh, energy, then people can feel it. And so you just said, maybe you should be more boisterous about, but you can feel it just by interacting with you. You can feel that calm. You can feel that kind of stable energy
Mhm.
that you exude, and that's far, in my opinion, far more impacting than what you say because we have a lot of noise in this world today,
Mhm.
a lot of noise, a lot of pitches and gimmicks, and people know what to say, how to say it, and so we got to get to that point where we can connect with each other on a spiritual basis because you never know what these people out here are really
Yeah.
about, and that's
Hmm.
that's not to say even good people have make mistakes, but when you talk about that person's energy, that person's spirit, that's a totally different conversation right there. So I mean, you live your example, and that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. Man, I'm really enjoying this conversation. Ryan, how can people get in contact with you? Tell them also the cost of this book and how they can get it.
Well, that's the best part. So you can get in contact with me. Our website is ryanandbritt.co. So it's RyanandBritt .co. ryanandbritt.co. So you can get a hold of us that way. That's where you can find my book. And the best part is this book is free because, man, we're just trying to help people. You know, we're blessed and we've got a really great life. And it's like we have a heart for people. We want to help them. I think this is a really it's like an entry level way to get in, man. It's like how can I make my life a little better? It's like take control of your day.
Yeah.
Right. And if you want to go to the next level, man, reach out because we help people do that too. So
once you can get control of your day, then that gives you more opportunity to think about what you want in life. Because
absolutely.
When you're bouncing, like you said, when you're on defense, you don't have time to think about what you want for this life. You're just trying to get through the day. So, yeah, man, I encourage everyone, go get this free resource, this free book. It's an easy read. It's not a lot of pages. You can read it in a few minutes, but I guarantee you sometimes the most impactful information is that quick information, right? To change your direction. So go out. Everyone, please like and share this video. Like and share it. Get the word out about Ryan, about how you can take control of your day, design your life. Ryan, I appreciate you for being on the show, and you have a great day, man.
Thanks for having me, Tim.